Well, last night was fun, but then this morning hasn't been so fun. Learning of the news, the Padres, they're placing Joe Musgrove on the IL. As you can see from Kevin Acee here, Padres starter Joe Musgrove will go on the IL with a recurrence of the tricep/elbow issue that sidelined him last month. It is not believed at this time to be a season ending injury. Randy Vasquez has been recalled to start today. So that's really what we know. There hasn't been, as of this recording, as I'm talking right now, there has not been an announcement from the Padres or anything like that. But that seems like that's what the move is going to be. Randy Vasquez was on turn to pitch today anyway. His last outing with El Paso, I believe, was on the 26th. So remember, he was sent down after allowing 8 earned runs, I believe, combined in his last 2 outings before being sent down. And then he made one outing. Yes, the 26th, where he went 4 and a third, and he gave up 2 earned runs, struck out 6 guys. He made how many outings here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outings at the big league level. He was in El Paso to start the year, then came up for a couple of outings, then went down for an outing, came up for a few outings, then went down again. So he's been up and down, up and down. And now he is going into the spotlight, really, because with this injury, you see how it is worded by Kevin. That reminds me of how it was worded, I believe, by Kevin when Xander went down with that injury. And like the initial diagnosis was not believed to be season ending. And the timeline now is 2 to 3 months still. So I wouldn't expect him to be back before the All-Star break, even though Xander, his initial comments was he wanted to be back after a month. Not so sure about that with the shoulder there. And with Joe, we just don't know. I'm sure Schultz going to talk about this today, so there'll be more information. Maybe there won't be more information. Maybe Joe's going to have some quotes on this because he is someone that's accountable. And I'm not saying he did anything wrong here, but just someone that speaks to the media even when things are going bad. And we'll see what his thoughts are on this. Obviously, he went on the IL already with inflammation. What was it? Right elbow inflammation for Musgrove. And he came back, made a couple of outings. I thought he pitched pretty well against the Yankees in that Sunday outing. Yeah, right elbow inflammation, was placed on the IL May 5th, came back on the 21st, had the limited pitch count against Cincinnati, comes and pitches against the New York Yankees, and I was seeing progress. We saw before he was on the IL with that inflammation, we saw progress. I think it was against the Reds, where, okay, it was his best outing, I thought, of the season so far. And it had been a rocky start for Joe, obviously not where we wanted him to be. And now with this, that was such a huge key. Him and Darvish. Darvish is a part of this too. Let's remember, because Darvish, he probably isn't going to make that start against the Angels. He's still being evaluated. That was the latest update. He's not with the team. He's here in San Diego. Hamstring. So I don't know if he's going to make that start on Tuesday against the Angels. And who's going to start in place of him? Because you got Waldron here already. You got Vasquez here. Would it be Brito and you have Brito Morejon? Do the piggyback there? Do they try to extend Morejon out? Because he has been effective out of the bullpen this year and he's been healthy. So that's good. Stretch him out a little bit and make Brito and Morejon into like a 6 inning starter combined between the two. I don't know if they want to go 6 innings or 5 innings with one of those guys. But that's where I'm thinking. Because I don't know, is Adam Mazur ready to be called up right now? I don't know if they're going to go to Robbie Snelling right now. Those are two guys that we think could be significant pieces in the future of this team. But it is June 1st. What's that predicted, like the timetable for those guys to come up at the big league level? I thought it was more second half of the season for someone like Adam Mazur. Maybe it would take a little bit longer for someone like Robbie Snelling. What I would say is, in terms of starting pitching additions before the deadline, that's definitely going to happen. I would be shocked if no starting pitcher is acquired by the Padres. I already thought one was going to be acquired, but you have Darvish, who's obviously not the youngest guy in the league. He's getting up there, and he's dealing with the hamstring. I'm not saying that's going to be something where he's going to be out for 3 months, but there's that. The more concerning thing is Musgrove, because it's the arm. He's out there, and this is the second time, not believed at this time to be season ending, but that's not very optimistic. I mean, that's optimistic meaning like not season ending, but I read that and I'm not very optimistic reading that sentence. To me, that sounds like, okay, he's going to be out for months, not season ending, but it's June 1st, so still months without Joe Musgrove. And so that leaves the rotation of, let's say Darvish can be back. Let's say he misses a couple starts with a hamstring. It doesn't seem to be super serious. I hope it's not. Um, but precautionary, if he misses Tuesday, okay, whatever. I mean, that's fine. I want him to be healthy. But let's say when Darvish comes back, you got a rotation right now of Darvish, Cease, King, Waldron, and then Vasquez, right? Am I forgetting someone? Darvish, Cease, King, Waldron, and Vasquez. Yeah, that's your five right now. And we'll see what happens on Tuesday, who would start that game. So yeah, I mean, I look at the depth in El Paso. I mean, the name that sticks out to come up is Vasquez, and he's coming up today. Like that's pretty much that. And I'm just looking on El Paso's site right now. You go through some of these names: Nick Hernandez, Alec Jacob. He's more a reliever though. Reese Kinnear, Jay Groom, but I believe he's on the IL right now. Adam Mazer is on there. There's Sean Reynolds. Kevin Kopps is a reliever. There's Jackson Wolf. So there's some names that we're familiar with and some options there. But I don't think that these options, other than maybe Adam Mazer, right? I don't think I tell you these options and you're like, all right, yep, definitely that's the guy. Call him up, have him up over Randy Vasquez to be the starter in place of Joe, right? So really for me, it's okay, gotta get good outings out of Cease. Let's get consistency out of Michael King. Hopefully, less home runs being allowed. Darvish stay healthy and pitch like the Darvish that we've seen at times this year. Matt Waldron keep pitching pretty well because he's moved up to the 4 if you think about it. Vasquez keep the Padres in games. And is it going to be 2 starters now? 2 arms that the Padres get instead of 1? Do they make a trade? Kind of like Luis Ariz, where they make that trade early. Is there a fit there with a team in baseball that they know that we're not going to be contending this year? Let's just face it. And the Padres can offer something appealing to that team. I don't know. I don't know where that stands right now in terms of other teams and who maybe could be out there. But yeah, this is a blow because it's one thing the first time when he went on the IL, Joe, and it was like, okay, inflammation. I think there was I think either he said or Kevin Acee said, someone said that like, yeah, he probably would pitch through it last year, or if it was later in the year, but because it's May, let's be precautionary with this. Let's be smart about this. This is, part of being a veteran, like learning from past mistakes. That's one thing when it was the first time. Now it's the second time. That means that things aren't getting better here. It's recurring, and you risk probably even worse if you go back out there again. So, like, they're really going to try to be precautionary here. And so, like, we don't know exactly what's going on. So, I'm not going to say like surgery is coming, but it seems like it's not just going to be 15 days. Seems like it's going to be more than that based on this one tweet. We could get more information and we could be like, okay, actually, it's better than what we thought. But this feels like Xander Bogaerts type thing where it's going to be months, regardless of how optimistic someone can be. And we know Joe's going to, he look at last year, he worked his butt off to try to, to get back. But I'm just not feeling optimistic about this. And Joe's a huge piece. I know that there were fans that were down on Joe going into some of these outings because, yeah, it wasn't looking great. This was not the Joe Musgrove that we were maybe expecting, right? Going into the year. And we need him to be that that frontline starter type guy. But I was seeing encouraging signs, and regardless of how you feel, I think we can all agree Joe was to be healthy, have a healthy Joe Musgrove and the competitor that he is, that can only help your team. And without him, that leaves a big hole. Joe or Randy Vasquez? The answer is Joe. Not saying Randy Vasquez can't help, but Joe Musgrove's the guy we gave $100 million to. And to him be on the shelf last year, and now he's going to be on the shelf here now for seems like more extended than what the last IL trip was. It's concerning for sure. Need this offense to, you know, you're not going to have 11 hit innings, but have this offense perform consistently to help out this rotation because not every starter is going to be on their game every time out. But we'll see what happens the rest of this series. Hopefully, there's some updates coming. But yeah, Joe Musgrove going on the IL. Give your thoughts in the comments. Not a great morning.